Good morning. I'm going to talk about my research design for my study examining cultural and linguistic discontinuity in the art room, implications for elementary art teachers. My research questions for this study are: how are elementary art teachers' perspectives and pedagogies guided by their belief system and shaped by their pre-service preparation? How do elementary art teachers feel about cultural discontinuity, and what specific strategies and approaches have elementary art teachers found or developed in order to feel effective in their instruction of historically minoritized, culturally and linguistically diverse students? How did they find or develop these strategies? My methodology overview consists of a sequential mixed methods study. Phase 1 will involve quantitative surveys, and phase 2 will involve qualitative interviews. For my study participants, I'll have elementary art teachers in Gwinnett County, and phase 2 will involve 3 or more of those elementary art teachers that will volunteer to partake in interviews following the survey. For my data collection, I'll be using a survey for broad generalization and then phenomenological interviews for more in-depth insight. For my data analysis, I'll be using trends in the data for phase 1 and phase 2 inductive analysis. My participants will be a purposeful sampling of the elementary art teachers in Gwinnett County. There are 90, and they have varied educational backgrounds and different years of teaching experiences. For my data collection, for phase 1, for the quantitative survey, I'll be using a Qualtrics survey that I designed myself that contains 30 questions, and it aligns with the 4 prongs of the teacher belief system, which is the theoretical framework that I'm using for my study. There are dichotomous questions, and I'll be handing out a QR code at our pre-planning meeting in just a couple of weeks to the teachers that as they come into our pre-planning meeting for the county. The last question of my survey is asking teachers if they would like to participate in the qualitative interviews following the survey. That's optional. So phenomenological interviews that detail lived experiences and perspectives of historically minoritized, culturally and linguistically diverse students. The questions will be further developed after the survey results, but I do have my interview protocol already developed. My theoretical framework of teacher beliefs is guiding my study. There are 4 prongs: epistemology, teaching and learning, domain knowledge, and milieu. And these prongs are what I use to develop my survey and interview questions. There are 16 survey questions and 2 interview questions that involve milieu. There are 6 survey questions and 2 interview questions that involve domain knowledge and teaching and learning. And there are 5 survey questions and 4 interview questions that have to do with the teacher's epistemology. So to analyze my data, for my survey, I'm going to use general trends and data by descriptive analysis. So looking at the mean, median, mode, standard deviation, and variance of responses. I'll be looking at investigating the data distribution to determine which responses are related and which ones I can compare. And then I'm going to use combined item responses to align the results with the study's framework of teacher beliefs. For phase 2, my interviews, I'm going to transcribe them and then use in vivo to code. I'm going to look at inductive analysis to look for themes and codes that I can find. And then resulting themes will be categorized and summarized for my writing. Ethical and political considerations for this study. I am concerned about discussing immigration and diversity with teachers. I'm hoping to keep it a safe conversation and a comfortable conversation that so I don't offend anyone, but hopefully have a successful conversation. Ethical concerns, I am questioning teachers' epistemology, so there will be feelings involved, and I'm hoping that goes smoothly. I am going to use pseudonyms for the teachers. I think I'm going to let teachers choose a famous artist name for their pseudonym and see how that goes. I'm going to gain informed consent from my surveys. So the first question is the consent. And then I'll remind my participants during the interview of their rights and the purpose of the study. I'll be using privacy measures by keeping my laptop and my code notebook and my research journal locked away. And for the validity and credibility of my study, I will be looking at the psychometric validity for reliability of test items for my survey and response validation, establishing internal validity, and also construct validity to ensure that questions measure the corresponding prongs of the teacher belief system. For credibility, I'm going to be member checking with my interview participants, incorporating their direct quotes and including my own reflexivity and subjectivity within my dissertation. My own reflexivity is included in chapter 3 of my study, and I'm coming from the perspective of a white art educator that's working through my own complicity in the structures of advantage and oppression that I'm striving to dismantle, coming from a very non-diverse state that lacked linguistic and cultural diversity. And I am now teaching in a very diverse district with a very high diversity index of 84.9%. So I think this is the perfect place for this study, and I'm hoping to really have a successful study and learn a lot from it as well. Thank you.